Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening, everybody. I hope all of you are in complete health and everything is going well for you. Before starting new chapter, let me tell you Happy New Year, and I hope you had fun time with your family during holidays. Okay. I wish the new year is a year full of the prosperity, successful health, and happy for you and your family. Okay. Thank you so much for your kindness. And I want to ask you a question. Did you receive the chapter 5 slides or not? I repeat my question. Did you receive chapter 5 slide? No? Okay, okay. So some of you have received, but some of you have not received. Okay. Please let me listen again. Okay, sure. I will send you chapter 6 and 5 together to you. Okay. Today I'm going to discuss about a subject as namely location strategy. Location strategy. What do you think about location strategy? And what does it want to say to us? Okay. This subject talks about building a strategy to find the best place for setting up facility, factory, distribution center, and something like this. Actually, by learning about the concept of this subject, you will find out strategies that you can establish in order to find the best place. Okay, the quality of voice is good now. What about now? Is it good now? Okay, okay. This subject is very important for those organizations to serve customers around the world, and they are working in globalization environment, especially post office, such as DHL, such as FedEx, because they should know how they can find the best places for distributing the packages and letters to customers in right time. One of the best examples for the company which is very successful in this field is FedEx company. That is the post office, American post office. It has been very successful about finding the best places for locating offices and hubs. Overnight delivery powerhouse FedEx has believed in the hub concept for its 43-year existence. FedEx fleet of 650 airplanes flies into 378 airports worldwide, then delivers to door with more than 42,000 vans. Certainly, it's one of the biggest post organization in the world because of these strong equipments. Okay, enables this organization. Yes, this organization has built many hubs around the world, many central office. Hubs means central office. For example, the hub of this office in Asia has been located in China, in a city as namely Guangzhou in China. In Europe, the hub has been located in Paris, in France, and in American Latin has been located in Miami. It enables service to more locations with fewer airplane, no problem. It enables matching of aircraft flights with package loads and reduce mishandling and delay in transit because there is total control of packages from pickup to delivery. These activities have made FedEx as one of the biggest and the best post office in the world and has helped this company to find the best place for its activities. Now we want to discuss how they have succeeded to find best place. What strategies they have established that help them to find best centers around the world. Location strategy. One of the most important decisions a firm makes, increasingly global in nature, significant impact on fixed and variable costs is very important. Decisions made relatively frequently. And the FedEx and DHL are two main competitors. I have heard that FedEx is bigger than DHL, but FedEx don't operate in Middle East very much, especially because, as you know, this is an American company, and because of the sanctions, they don't operate in Iran. So the DHL is operating in Iran instead of that. But I have heard that both of them are very big. The FedEx is a little bigger than DHL and a little better than DHL. Yes, I have FedEx is bigger than DHL. As I told you, yes. The objective is to maximize the benefit of a location to the firm. Please read the last sentence. The objective is to maximize the benefit of location to the firm. The thing that is very important in location strategy is that company wants to find the best place because it can help them to reduce cost and improve their service, especially customer service. Because of that, they can optimize the time that is needed for serving customers. So, what factors are very important for location strategy? Location and cost. Location decisions based on low cost require careful consideration. Once in place, location-related costs are fixed in place and difficult to reduce. Determining optimal facility location is a good investment. Is a good investment. This is ramification. It means that as soon as you find your place and set up your facility, and after that you understand that this place is a wrong place for you, you cannot change that because it needed very high cost. So it's very important before selecting place, consider all aspects of decision: cost decision, area decision, geographical, political issue, economical issue, especially for those companies that are going to transfer their facilities to another country and they want to go abroad and develop their business in foreign countries. This is very important. So they should consider the political issue, economical issue. Imagine if one of your friend or one of company in Afghanistan suggests you to go to Syria and invest there. Do you accept or not? Yes, at the moment. If they very good, yes, they don't accept because of the security reason. So before building a strategy for location, you should study all aspects of your decision. Especially cost, security, and something like this. Yeah, very good. You should study the external environment and the pest analysis. Do you know what is the pest analysis? You should do the pest analysis. PEST. Yes, yes. Pest analysis. PEST. Pest analysis help you to find the or establish the best strategy for developing your business in an area, local or foreign. Yes, PEST is abbreviated for P is political, E is economical, S is social, T is technology. Yeah, exactly. This analysis helps you to study better on your decision before making that and before starting to work. I think in strategy management, your lecturer will tell you about this analysis. This analysis is one of the strategical analysis. Location and innovation. Another reason that companies make decisions to transfer their facility and develop their business to other countries is innovation. What does it mean? Cost is not always the most important aspect of a strategic decision. Four key attributes when a strategy is based on innovation, high quality and specialized input, and an environment that encourage investment and local rivalry. A sophisticated local market and local response of related and supporting industry. When you find out that a place out of your home country is very good for driving innovation for your product, you can think about that and you can study to transfer your facility there. For example, you found out that there are many talented people in that area, and the potential for raw material because of the environmental conditions such as access to water, access to sea, access to mine is very high. The potential is very high to access these inputs. So they can think about that to transfer or locate your facility there. So this is another reason that can help you to think about transferring. And also through this transfer, you can know better local markets, the customer needs in that area, and also support the industry in that area for your product. Okay, so this is another reason: location and innovation. Very good. Any question? If you have any question or anybody wants to talk, don't hesitate. Let me know to pass microphone to him or her. Speak for others. No question? Okay. This subject is very interesting and very easy because they are very clear. So all of you have heard about that, and I'm sure that all of you have faced these issues in your company. Location decision. Sometimes your decisions are long-term decisions and sometimes are short-term decisions. It depends on. If you are going to set up a factory, it means that you have made a long decision and you want to stay for a long time that place. So you need to think better and you need to study carefully before choosing that place. Decision made infrequently. Decision greatly affects both fixed and variable costs. Yes. Do you know what are the fixed and variable costs? What is fixed cost and what is variable cost? Do you know? Anybody wants to talk? Variable cost, yes, can be changed. For example, raw material. Raw material cost. When you want to purchase raw material, sometimes it may you purchase in low quantity. Sometimes you have to purchase in high quantity. But some costs are fixed. For example, the payment to labor. Yes, very good. Rent, bills. They are fixed variables. The decisions for location strategy can affect to both fixed and variable costs. Once committed to a location, many resource and cost issues are difficult to change. After location, you cannot change your decision, and may you are incurred high cost for wrong decision. Here, you can see the critical success factors that can affect your decision for country decision. Country decision means that you want to transfer your facility or business, develop your business to other country other than your country, to foreign country. These are the factors can affect your decisions. Political risk, government rules, attributes, incentives, cultural and economic issues, location of market, labor talent, attitudes, productivity, cost. Number 5, availability of supply, communications, energy. Number 6, exchange rates and currency risk. As you see, each of these factors has its own importance. For example, if you don't consider one of them, you will be incurred high cost. The cost can be financial and sometimes can be very dangerous. As I told you, at the moment, you cannot think about investment in Syria because of the critical situation. Attitude means behavior, manner, for example, the beliefs. And incentives means encouragement, motivation. For example, everything that can motivate you to invest and spend money there. For example, it can be government reward, government uh, subsidiary. I have here, yes, Kashmiri. I have here your president, Mr. Hamid Karzai, have made some strategy to attract international investment in Afghanistan. For example, they can give the loan in lower interest and something like this. It's a kind of incentive that can be very good for improving economical issues and conditions. Cultural and economic issues is very important. For example, uh, Iran and Afghanistan are Islamic countries. If a company in Europe is operating in field of alcoholic drink, they know that they cannot come to they know that they cannot come to Iran and invest here because it's against of the cultural. So before developing your business, you should be aware about that cultural issues in target area. Yes. And also they should consider the markets in that area, the local markets, the labor availability, and also the level of the talent of labor, natural resources such as gas, such as energy, utility, availability of them, and also exchange rate and currency risk is very, very important. Because of the bad economical condition in Iran at the moment, the exchange rate has become very good for American people. Because $1 is about 35,000 riyals in Iran. It means that if they come to Iran and spend $1, they can purchase the better and more things than their country. But sometimes, if the situation become a reverse. You know, the situation reverse. It will be it will be very bad for Americans, and they cannot come to Iran and invest because of the exchange rate. Okay, so they are the critical success factors for country decision. Now here you can see the critical success factor for region or community decision. For example, inside your country, you want to go to another city, another region in your country, or you want to go to another region in the world, a specific region I mean. If you consider a specific region for your decision, you should consider these corporate desires, of region, labor availability, that is the same as the country decision, cost and availability of utilities, environmental regulations, government incentives and fiscal policies, proximity to raw materials and customers. And the last one is the land or construction cost. Before this decision, you should see your desires and your interests about invest on that region. The access to natural resources, the utilities is very important. And also you should see whether your government has established any regulation for environmental or no. Because some places are very has been restricted by government for investment because of the environmental issues. And sometimes you can see that your government has made facility in some area to attract state investment, especially in the area that less people are desired to go. Yes. On the other hand, land or construction cost is very important. There should be, is it very expensive or no? For land or construction or building and something like this, okay? So these factors should be considered before making decision for location. Factors that affect location decision is labor productivity also is one of the most important factors that can affect your decision. Wage rates are not the only cost. Lower production may increase total cost. Lower production may increase total cost. For example, one company is thinking about two areas, as namely Connecticut and Juarez, that are two cities in, I think, in American continent. And in Mexico. They want to see which place is better for them to invest. They consider, for making decision, they consider the labor productivity. They have calculated the labor productivity for both of the area. They have They have got that, and they have got that in Connecticut, the cost per unit is $1.17 per unit. This is the labor cost for producing one unit product. And in Juarez, is 1.25 per unit labor cost. As you see, in Connecticut, the cost is less than the Juarez. Yes, they are the name of cities in Mexico. A company, this is an example. A company has made decision to invest on each of one of these cities. Okay, so they use the labor productivity method to help them which city has less cost. They have calculated the cost per unit for each city. In Connecticut, the labor cost per day is $70 per day, divided by production. They can produce their 60 units in that city because of the potential. For example, the material, the natural resources, and something like this. In the Juarez, the labor cost is very lower than the Connecticut. It's $25 per day, and they can only produce 20 units. Okay, but when they calculated this labor productivity, they saw that in Juarez the situation is better. Yes, in Juarez, because if you see, the cost per unit is less than Connecticut. It's very important. You should, the number shouldn't cheat you. The number shouldn't deceive you. It's better at first calculate the labor productivity and then make decisions. At the first glance to this number, you see that in Juarez the labor cost is very less than the Connecticut, and the number of but the number of units has determined that in Juarez the labor cost is more than the Connecticut, so they go to Connecticut. Because the cost per unit per producing one unit is less than Juarez, as you see. It's only 1.17, while in Juarez it's 1.25 per unit. Yes, very good. On the other hand, also there is more demand. So the labor cost shouldn't cheat you. Very good. Exchange rate and currency risk, as I told you, can have a significant impact on cost structure, and rates change over time. Exactly. If in any country the change is frequently changes, in the rate, the currency rate is frequently changes, such as Iran, it can make many bad conditions for investment. Because the investors like to go somewhere that have a stable, yes, a stable condition, a stable economical condition. On the other hand, the cost is another factor. The cost can be divided into two costs, tangible and intangible. Tangible can easily measure, such as the utility, labor, material tax. But intangible cannot be quantified, such as the education facility, education level, public transportation, community, quality of life, but they can be very important for your decision. And it definitely depends on the company and their production. Okay? Any question? Okay, very good. Location decisions based on cost alone can create difficult ethical situations. It means that you shouldn't consider only cost, but also other factors, especially ethical situations. And tangible means can be measured. You can calculate it very easily. For example, the utility bill, labor pay. But intangible can be cannot be measured very easily. Yes. For example, the quality of life. The quality of life cannot be measured. Okay. Political risk, values, and culture. We talked about that. The national, state, local governments' attitudes toward private and intellectual property, zoning, pollution, employment, stability may be influenced. Worker attitudes toward turnover, unions, absenteeism. Globally, cultures have different attitudes toward punctuality, legal, and ethical issues. Punctuality, legal, and ethical issue belongs to cultural issues. Because it's very important for many companies to go somewhere and invest there that um, that can attract the talented people and um, civilized people. You know, the people with good culture. I mean, that many cases are important for them. For example, the punctuality and the moral, good behavior, and something like this, because they can help the company to reduce the risk of bad culture. Do you remember this? I showed this diagram in globalization strategy in chapter 2. And also, I should show you again here because it's very important also in location strategy. Location strategy and globalization is very near. You know, globalization is that you mean you want to invest on foreign countries. So it's very important to choose the country that has lowest corruption. The Finland and New Zealand have the lowest corruption among their government and society. Okay. For selecting places for some activities, CPI means the Corruption in the Transparency International. It is an organization that gives a score to country. Okay. There are some methods that can help operation managers to select best locations for some activities, especially distribution center. For example, if you want to locate your distribution center for your product that minimize the distribution cost, you can use the mathematical method. One of these methods is the center of gravity method. This method considers three factors: location of market, volume of goods shipped to those markets, and shipping cost or distance. For example, you want to establish one distribution center to feed or deliver your product to local market in that area or vicinity of area. You want to know which point or which location is the best for you. You can use this method, center of gravity method. Now, please let me see you the formula. For using this method, you should consider this issue. Place existing location on a coordinate grid. Grid origin and scale is arbitrary. Maintain relative distance. Calculate x and y coordinates for center of gravity. Assume cost is directly proportional to distance and volume shipped. It means that you should use the coordinate system, x and y axis. The origin is arbitrary. What's the meaning of arbitrary? It means that you can select everywhere that you want on the map. Because you use the map, you use an origin. Okay, you can locate your origin on everywhere on the map. It's arbitrary. Okay, then you draw the x-axis and y-axis, and then you should determine the market that you want distribute your product among those markets on the map, and then calculate the distance that market from origin and determine x and y coordinates of that market, those markets. Then you can use this formula to select the best place for your distribution center. X coordinate and y coordinate are the x coordinate and y coordinate of the center of gravity or your desired distribution center. Sigma d and this ix multiply q and this I divided by sigma q and this I. Y coordinate equals sigma d I y multiply q and this I divided by sigma q and this I. T and this ix is x coordinate of location I. TIY is y coordinate of location I. Location means the market that you want to distribute. And Q is the quantity of goods moved to or from location I, from those markets. Please write down this formula on the piece of paper. Q means the quantity of the products that you want to ship or transfer. For example, 200 units. D is distance. Distance, yes, very good. Distance from that place. This formula is very useful for distribution center. It is write down and or memorize in your mind. Okay? Also, imagine a company wants to establish a distribution center to transfer its product to 4 cities in United States. They want to transfer their product to Chicago, New York, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta. Now they want to know which place is the best place for establishing or building distribution center. Okay, they choose an arbitrary origin that you can see in the. Let me show by. Okay. This is arbitrary origin. When they choose, yes, no, arbitrary. Arbitrary origin means that you can choose origin everywhere that you want. There is no regulation. There is no rule. Everywhere that you are desired, you can. For example, you can choose the arbitrary origin on the Kabul. You can choose on Tehran, Caspian Sea, Persian Gulf, everywhere. Okay. But the thing that is very important, when you choose the arbitrary origin, you should determine the X and Y of that market from arbitrarily. For example, Chicago, with regard to selecting arbitrary origin, has 13 in X coordinate and 120 in Y coordinate. This is X and Y for Chicago from arbitrary, as you see on the map. Atlanta is 16 and 14 kilometers coordinate, and Pittsburgh and New York also can be determined with regard to origin that you have chosen as arbitrary. Okay? Also, there are some software that can help you to select these coordinates. For example, GSI. I will show you the software at the end of class. Please look at this slide carefully. Okay. Any question? Okay. Now, by use of the formula, imagine this company is going to transfer 2,000 units of products to Chicago, 1,000 units to Pittsburgh, 1,000 units to New York, and 2,000 units to Atlanta. This is the number of units that are to be transferred from the distribution center to these markets, Chicago markets, Pittsburgh market, New York, and Atlanta. Now, by use of the formula, we can determine or calculate X coordinate and Y coordinate of the New York. Look at this slide. New York is the X coordinate and Y coordinate 130 kilometers. X 130 kilometers, Y. This is the coordinate of the point on the map from origin when you select your origin as arbitrary on everywhere, you should determine X and Y of each place or market that you are going to transfer there from origin. For New York is 130 and 130 as you see. Okay? Now imagine this company, for example, is going to transfer 2,000 units to Chicago, 1,000 Petersburg, 1,000 New York, and 2,000 Atlanta. Okay. X coordinate is calculated by X of Chicago, X, only X. X of Chicago multiply the number of the units plus X of Petersburg multiply by units for Petersburg, X by X of New York multiply units plus 60 multiply units divided by all of the sum of the all units 2,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 2,000. When you calculate this, you reach to this number 66.7, that is X coordinate of your favorite distribution center, or no, kilometer, not degree. They are distance. Distance means kilometer. And also for Y coordinate. Y coordinate of each place or each market multiply the number of the units that is to be transferred there. 120 multiply 2,000 plus 110 multiply 1,000. If you calculate this number can be got 93.3. That is the Y coordinate of distribution center. Now you have succeeded to calculate X and Y of the distribution center or center of gravity. This place. If you see the X and Y for the center of gravity, it is 66.7 and 93.3 from the arbitrary origin. So this is the best place for establishing distribution center that can help you decrease cost. It was very interesting, yes, and very easy. Do you have any questions? Okay. Okay. Factor rating method. When you want to explain the result, only you can calculate the best place for your distribution center. That's all. Now you can know that where is the best place for establishing center of gravity. The horizontal axis is the X, the vertical axis is the Y. No, no, no. You have calculated the center of gravity. It means that you have calculated the best place for establishing distribution center. That's all. This place that has the 66.7 and 93.3. Okay? It's okay now? Can I continue? Okay. Factor rating method. This method also is very interesting. It's another method that can help you to choose the best place. For example, you want to, you have faced 2 or 3 cities, and among these 2 cities or 2 countries, you want to rate them. You want to evaluate them, which country or which city is the best. Factor rating method can help you to solve this problem. Popular because a wide variety of factors can be included in the analysis. The more factors you choose for analyze, better decision you can make. The number of factors is depends on you, and what it depends on you that how much carefully you act for analyzing. 6 steps in the method that you should do. Develop a list of relevant factors that called critical success factors. Assign a weight to each factor. Develop a scale for each factor. Because you provide a list or develop a list and you determine these factors are very important for us. For example, utility cost, labor talent, each of them. After that, in number 4, score each location for each factor. Multiply score by weights for each factor for each location. Of course, I will give you an example. Don't worry about that. Recommend the location with the highest point score at the end. After calculation, you should see which city or which region has the highest point score. Then you can calculate and you can select it as the best place. For example, one company has 2 options for investment, France and Denmark, 2 countries. They want to know which country is the best. At first, in the first step, develop a list of relevant factors called critical success factors that you can see on the left. The factors that are very important for company has been listed here. Labor availability and attitude. People to car ratio. Per capita income, okay. Tax structure. Education and health situation. Okay. After you select, you list the critical success factors that are very important for you, you should make them in order, in priority. It means that when you give them, assign a weight to them, you have determined which factor is very important for you or which factor is less important for you. For example, if you see the company has given to tax structure 0.39 or 39%. 39%, the tax structure is very important for company. After that, the labor availability and attitude is important. They give them 25%. Is there any problem for center of gravity? If you have a problem, please let me know. I back to a slide and explain again. Because some of the students are discussing about database and they feel we didn't got it. Because it's my duty to explain as much as you want. Okay. Okay. And there is no criteria for weight. You know, there is no criteria for weight. For example, you can weight them as you wish. Before that you should select the important factor, and then this is optional, yes. And then this weight shows that which factor is very important for you and which factor is less important. For example, the people to car ratio is not very important, but each one of the factors can affect your decision. For example, only 5% is important. After determining this weight, you should give a score to France and Denmark out of 100 for each factor. At first, you should study on culture and situation of France and Denmark, and then you can give a score. Okay. For example, in labor availability and attitude, France can get 70 out of 100 score, and Denmark gets 60 out of 100 for labor availability. For people to car ratio, France gets 50 score and Denmark receives 60 score. For per capita income, France can get 85 score and Denmark can get 80 score. For tax structure, France gets 75 and Denmark can get 70. And for education and health, the France can get 60 and Denmark can get 70. Because this is the rule of method. It's called factor rating. This method is called factor rating. It means that you should give a weight to each factor, and then you can study on France and Denmark and you can receive the scores for each factor with regard to, for example, some organization that can help you, some geographical organization, some political organization can help you to give each factor a score out of 100. This is the rule that each city or each country can receive one score for each factor. Yes, this is the statistics process, and you can receive this score, for example, from some economists and some societies who are familiarized with those countries. You can consult them to receive this scores in your company. Especially societies or social scientists can help you for these factors. Okay, when you determine this, you should multiply each of these factor, each of these score to the weight that you give each factor according to importance. For example, 0.25 multiplied 70 for France can give you 17.5. The 0.05 multiplied 50 can produce 2.5 for France for people to car ratio. And you can do the same for all of the factors for France. And then you should sum all of the factors together. Yes, exactly. You can also study in the statistical science. But it's enough. It's enough that you know the method of the method. Okay, the rules of the method. It's enough for the operation manager because they can consult, they can study with others, with economists, with socialists, and they can get these scores very easily. And don't worry about that. After receiving these scores, this is your duty to calculate them according to this method. Okay. So for France and for Denmark, each factor should be calculated according to the factor rating method. Yes. After that, you should sum up the result. 17.5 plus 2.5 plus 8.5 plus 29.3 plus 12.6 gives 70.4 for France. And for Denmark, 15 plus 3 plus 8 plus 27.3 plus 14.7 produce 68. Which number is bigger? Yes, generally better is better for location. Yes, France is better. I repeat quickly. 6 steps in this method. Develop a list of relevant factors called critical success factors. Then assign a weight to each factor. Develop a scale for each factor. Score each location for each factor. Multiply scores by weights for each factor for each location. Recommend the location with the highest point score. Okay. Any question? No question. Okay, very good. Transportation model. And at the end of class, if you have any question, I will explain again. Okay. Because the slides are about to finish. Okay. The slides are because I think we have only 3 or 4 slides more. Okay. Transportation model. It finds amount to be shipped from several points of supply to several points of demand. It's similar to center of gravity. Solution will minimize total production and shipping costs, a special class of linear programming problem. It leads to linear programming problem. Linear programming is one subject that is be familiar for the statistic. Those who study statistics, they are familiar with this method, linear programming. You should develop a function, mathematical functions, that is called the objective function. Then, according to this, you should select some constraints and then minimize or maximize your mathematical function. It's complicated, but there are some software such as the QM. QM software can help you to optimize this function very easily. It's enough you enter some data. These data are the amount of units that is to shift from points and the cost of transportation. When you enter this data into the software, this software can optimize the transportation model for you. For example, it determines some places for distribution center. It's similar to center of gravity, but center of gravity is easier and better for understanding. This is a little complicated and needs to, yes, is to software such as the QM for linear programming. It's enough to be familiarized with transportation model, the concept of the transportation model. If anybody, because we have not enough time in the class to explain in detail of this model, we only introduce you, but you can go and study yourself if you want to learn this model by software. For service location strategy, there are some factors that are very important for service industry, for service company, for location strategy. Purchasing power of customer growing area in that area. Service and image compatibility with demographics of the customer drawing area, competition in that area, quality of the competition, uniqueness of the firms and competitors' locations, physical qualities of facilities and neighboring business, operating policies of the firm, and quality of management. So, in service quality, some factors such as the purchasing power of customer can be important. Competition is very important. For example, if you are going to open a restaurant in other country, you should consider the competition, the quality of competition. Physical quality of facility and neighboring business. Neighboring, yes, neighboring means the area in vicinity of, in neighborhood of that area that you want to. It means that you should consider the business and activities in cities in near to your favorite area. Yes, and also risk assessment in beside area. Yes, very good. So in service location strategy, they are very important. Geographic Information System, GIS. GIS is important tool to help in location analysis. This is a software. Competitors are operating in neighboring area. Competitors are operating in neighboring or neighborhood area, in vicinity of that area. Okay? This software and Geographic Information System is a software that can help you to understand all of the area on the in the board. For example, when you want to be familiarized or when you want to get some information about the area demographics, this software have collected many information about different area on the board and different countries that can help you to analyze your data and analyze your decisions. Available data in this software are detailed census data, detailed map, utilities map in the board, geographic features, locations of major service. Yes. So all of this information can be found in this software. And so you can use this geographical information systems to get some information of area. This is the image of the software. Okay. Okay. The slides have finished. In fact, our subject has finished location strategy. Yes, because the location strategy is very easy. It was all of the things that you need for this lesson. Okay. I will send you, don't worry. And the class has finished now, but I want to explain again those two methods. But those students want to leave the class, they can. Okay, there is no problem. But if you want to stay and listen again to those methods, I want to explain again the center of gravity. Okay? But those who like to leave the class, they can. Yes, yes. Mr. Abdul Khabir, you can use the GIS for center of gravity. Yes. So, for example, you can use this software to calculate X coordinate and Y coordinate of each area from the origin. But the origin, I explain again. Please let me back to a slide. Yes, GIS has made, and you can find many information, geographical information, demographic information, people, culture, and something like this for each area in the world through this software. Okay. Please let me explain again the center of gravity method. You know, center of gravity, for example, you want to establish distribution center to distribute your product to some markets. Yes, X means longitudinal coordinate and Y means attitudinal sorry, attitudinal coordinate. Okay. At first, you should specify which markets you want to distribute your product among them. After that, you should select a coordinate system. Coordinate system you have learned in mathematical in higher school. There are two axes for this coordinate system, X and Y. The vertical axis is Y, coordinate Y, and the horizontal axis is X. Okay. For this method, you can select an origin because you know the coordinate system has origin. The selecting this origin is arbitrary. What's the meaning of the arbitrary? Ikhtiyari. It means that you can select this point everywhere you wish, everywhere you like, no problem. You can select on the moon. You can select on the sea, on the Persian Gulf, on the Kabul. The thing that is important, when you select that origin, you should calculate the X and Y of those markets from origins that you select yourself. They should be accurate. X and Y for each point should be accurate. Then, by use of this formula, you can select point center of gravity or distribution center point. This point on map has X and has Y. Every point on the coordinate system has X and Y. This is mathematical science. So the distance of each market from origin multiply the number of the units that you are going to transfer that market divided by the sum of whole number or sum of whole units can give you X and Y. For X you should X coordinate, and for Y you should use Y coordinate for each point on the map. Okay. For example, you have select arbitrary origin on Mexico. Okay. Chicago from Mexico has 30 kilometers from east or from east and 120 kilometers from north. You can determine it from map. Google Maps, for example. And Google Maps also can help you. The GIS can help you to use the coordinate of these points on the map. New York, the X and Y of the New York on the coordinate system from arbitrary origin is 130 kilometers from east or from X and 130 kilometers from north or south, for example, because north and south are the vertical. They are the same for Petersburg and Atlanta. You can determine X and Y for each point, for each market from arbitrary origin. Okay. When you select it, when you determine it through software, GIS, through Google Maps and something like this, then you can use this formula. Chicago. This is the coordinate of Chicago. X is 30 kilometers and Y is 120 kilometers. The company is to transfer 2,000 units to Chicago, Petersburg, New York, and Atlanta. They are the X and Y that you saw in the last slide. We write again here. To calculate X coordinate, 30 multiplied 2,000 units. 30 is the X for Chicago, plus for Petersburg the X was 90. Multiplied 1,000 because the company is going to transfer 1,000 units to Petersburg, plus 130 kilometers. The distance of the New York from origin, multiply number of units, plus Atlanta X is 60, multiply 2,000, divided by whole units, 2,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 2,000. Produce 66.7. Yes. مختصات X and مختصات Y. Because each coordinate system has two مختصات, X and Y. For Y coordinate or مختصات Y for center of gravity or distribution center can be calculated as Y coordinate of each location or each market multiply the number of units. 120 is Chicago. 110 is Y coordinate of the Petersburg. and 130 is the y coordinate of New York, and 40 is the y coordinate of the Atlanta that we determined in this map from arbitrary origin. When you calculate this, you can see that the y coordinate for distribution center is 93.3. They are the x and y coordinate kilometer, 63 kilometer and 93 kilometers from origin that you select before. Now you can establish your center of gravity or distribution center display that has two coordinates, 66 and 93 kilometers from origin. Then you can go that place and establish your distribution of center. Yes, central point for supply, central point for distribution, production, amount is for market. Okay, I think now it should be clear for you. Exactly. This method can help you to decrease the transportation cost. This is the optimal point. Exactly, based on the both coordinates, x and y. Because we are living on the two dimensions area. So, from mathematical view, when you want to determine a point on the two dimensions, you need to x and y together. You cannot only use the x. Yes, you can do between the province. You can do between the city. Yes, you can. Yes, also. You can select the main city in province, for example, the Kabul, the Herat, the Kandahar. At first, you should select your market or your customer. The market and customer are the same, no problem. And then use this. Okay? Factor rating method means that you can give the rate or weight to each factor that are very important for investment. For example, you want to invest on Denmark and France. Yes, you should know the distance of the city. But when you select your origin, that is arbitrary, XTRE, by use of the software or by use of the internet, you can determine the distance of the city from the origins that you select. For example, the Google Maps can help you. The GIS can help you. In which method? Method Apple. Yes, center of gravity use the X and Y. Because you want to locate on the two dimension, the area, each area on the Earth has two dimensions, X and Y. Or north or east, for example. Negative doesn't mean here because the distance, the negative only means the direction. For example, from minus you can find it's towards the south, not north. North can be positive, the south is the negative. But when you want to use the data, you shouldn't use the negative. only the positive, because the distance, you cannot say that our city has minus 200 kilometers distance from, for example, Kabul. It's meaningless. Your city has 200 kilometers. Okay? When you select your factors that are very important, you can assign a weight to each factor that are very important for you. That it means that you should make order. You should make priority for each factor. Then, through some information that you can get from consultants such as the socialists, such as the economists, through internet and something like this, you can give scores to each of the country or each of region for each of the factors. When you give the scores, you should multiply these scores to weight that is important for you. When you do this, you can calculate each result for each factor. Then sum this result together. For example, there are 5 factors are very important for this company in example. Labor availability, people to car ratio, capital income, tax structure, education, and health. After a study and giving weight and score to each of the factors, you should multiply this weight on to each of the score. Then sum up these results together. For example, for France, and these numbers probably there are some organizations that can help you and that have evaluated these numbers for each region or country. But I think they are they should have fee. You know, they should pay money to receive these data. Some social organization, some socialists have studied and be sure uh, they have calculated this data and they have rated because they are science, you know, they are social science. Weight is important. The level of importance for you, each factor. For example, when you give the tax structure 40%, it's important that the tax structure is more important than the other factors. Okay, when you give the factor, but the scores can be gained from consultants. You can consult to some company, some socialist and something like this, and they have succeeded to calculate these scores. When you receive this, you are operation manager. Okay, because this is a special science. It's enough for you to calculate this data that you receive from, for example, the socialist, the economist. When you receive this data, you should only calculate them. So you should know the method of this, the rule of this method, the regular of this method. The rule of the method is that when you receive this data, you should multiply the weight to each of the score, then sum of them, and then analyze them and see which one is bigger score. Then you select that place for your activity, for your investment. For example, you as operation manager don't know the Denmark and France. What are the exports for France and Denmark? But you can receive them from internet and from some organizations that can do it for you. Okay? No, it has not formula. The formula is only the multiply the export to weight and then sum according to table. When you look at this table, this is the same for all of them. It depends on, for example, if you want to invest on region, you should consider the factors. When you consider the factors, the factor rating example, factor rating method is good for you. When you want to establish a distribution center, or when you want to establish a service company such as bank and something like this to serve customers or market around you, you can use the central gravity. Okay? Okay. The lesson has finished now. I hope that all of you got this lesson. Yes, I think it's enough for you because it makes you boring and it makes you more tired. Okay. I hope that all of you have understand this lesson. Okay, very good. I will send you all of the slides. Don't worry. And if you have any question, don't hesitate and send to me email. Okay. Have a nice time. Sure. Okay. I will send chapter 5 and 6 together. Don't worry. Sure. If you have if you have no question, please let me terminate the class. Have a nice time and have a nice night. Goodbye, everybody. I will see you next week.